Toast, what are you doing, Toast? What the fuck are you doing, Toast? Toast. Here, Toast. Come on, baby.
Back to Close to Broke. Today is a day filled of absolute degeneracy. We are getting in 2 full tables of action already going. You guys know, if you guys ever want to find me, Lucky Lady, 1 p.m. every Sunday, this is where I'll be. But for now, we have quite a few people to attend to and quite a bit of donkeyness to, obviously get to. Thank you guys so much for watching these episodes. I appreciate you guys enjoying some of the small stake stuff, some of the obviously bigger stake stuff. If you guys would leave me a comment right now, letting me know where I should travel to next, and I will try to go over there. That's enough moving for now. I'm making myself dizzy. Enjoy the episode. Let's get into it. Today's episode, we're going to be going over a session here at the Lucky Lady in the public game that I host every Sunday at 1 p.m. If you guys are interested in joining, coming through California, living in Southern California, we'd love to have you. Also, there's a ton to go over in this episode, not only poker hands, but I will be finally announcing the giveaway winners for the WSOP packages this year. So stay tuned, you might be named. It's super exciting to have everybody here today. Buckle up for a fun session. Make sure to share this with a friend, because maybe at the end we'll do something a little fun. Either way, in this very first hand of the episode, we've already got a lot to go through. There's a bomb pot, so let me just give you guys a little bit of a background. This game has a $5 bomb pot per person price admission fee. You get 4 cards, you have to use 2 of them, and 3 community cards, and we're playing 2 boards, PLO, bomb pot madness. On this first board, the top board, it comes out queen, queen 5. On the bottom board, it comes out 8, 3, deuce. No flush draws on either one of these boards, and we flop top 2 pair after looking at our hand, but it's not that good as 8-3. I mean, it's probably good to double down with this in blackjack, but we're not playing blackjack, we're playing poker. It checks to middle position who decides to bet for 30 bucks. Then the small blind, a very, very good friend of the vlog, one of my brothers in life, Mr. Dusty, decides to make the call as well. With the action folded over to me here, after I look down at my hand, I feel like if I can somehow get one of my opponents to fold or make a tighter fold, most of all, it's something that needs to be said is that for the most part, people play these bomb pots, it feels like slightly more passively. No one likes to get their money in the middle as an absolute dog, so people tend to go with a little bit of a tighter game plan here, especially if they're only playing 1 board. All that to be said, I feel like if I pot it here, maybe I can get one of these guys out of the way. Obviously, I'm never going to be good here. I realize that I'm probably drawing dead on one of the boards, but hey, we have a couple of backdoor draws. Maybe somehow we get lucky. Either way, I decide to pot it for 165. My plan immediately backfires when middle position jams all in for 500. The small blind Dustin calls all in for 300. And yeah, this sucks, but with all this action in front of me and the amount of money that I've put in the middle, it's probably not the worst thing in the world to just call. It sucks only having 2 pair and playing 1 board. This is what I was talking about earlier about not wanting to have to do stuff like this. But yeah, here we go. Unfortunate. A really unlucky spot. But here we go. I call the $500 all in. Just like that, off rip, a $1,500 pot. The top board on the turn comes out a 10 of hearts. The bottom comes a 3 of clubs. Now we go off to the river where the top board comes out the 6 of hearts and the bottom board comes out the 6 of clubs, bringing a backdoor flush. But as you guys saw there on the turn, we improved to a boat, only now losing to pocket 6s or pocket 8s on the board. So luckily for us, it will at least guarantee us half the pot when we show our hand, and our opponent in the small blind cannot beat it. The big blind shows pocket, or excuse me, the button or late position player shows pocket 5s for a flopped boat. Looks like somehow our donkey play ended up getting us to win half the pot, and a pretty sizable one at that. Okay, putting the bomb pot madness aside, we've got some no limit holdem to play. The action is over to me, and I decide to raise it up to $10. The button, the small blind, and the big blind all call. We're going 4 ways to a flop here that is, yeah, It's a good one. King 9-8 with 2 spades, or 2 clubs and a spade. As you guys can see here, this is a super wet board texture. When we decide to c-bet here, I think if we're going to ever bet, it's got to be for larger sizing. There's flush draws and straight draws out there, a bunch of different combinations of holdings for my opponent to continue with. So with the action on me, I just go for a pot size c-bet of $45. Surprisingly enough, the button and the big blind call. I don't know if you caught the sarcasm there, but not a surprise. We're going off to a turn card that is one of the worst cards in the deck as it comes the 6 of clubs. Hands that have straight draws like 10-7 get there. Hands like club draws get there. With the action checked over to me, I think I have nothing to do here besides play as a check call. We can always improve to a boat if we need to, and beyond that, we can still beat some hands that are going for value like worst 2 pairs. All that to be said, luckily for us, the button player checks it back. We're going off to a river card that comes with 4 of diamonds. Doesn't change anything, at least not that I can tell. At this point, the big blind decides to start a lead here for $100. At this point, Dustin, who's the person in the big blind, I don't really know what he's representing here. I think he's definitely representing a hand as strong as a flush. He could have been setting up for a big check raise on the turn and maybe not betting there saved us some money. But again, I think our hand's just way too strong to ever be folding. If we're folding a hand like top 2, I mean, what the hell are we calling with? Sure, we can have some better hands like clubs, but outside of a flush, this is the best hand I'll probably ever end up here with. Maybe sometimes kings or 9s, I guess. But we have a pretty good hand, and we're not in a game where folding makes the most sense. It feels like it's time to give some action because we're looking to get some action back, or at least we deserve to give him some action because he gives action on the first hand. So I make the call here. The button pretty quickly folds, and luckily for us, our opponent does not show a flush. But unluckily for us, he shows us straight. 10-7 off. Good hand to you, Dustin. On to the next one. Alrighty, everyone. Pardon the interruption in today's episode as we've got some people to let them know that they've won the giveaway.
Hey, Kieran.
Hey,
Kelly.
Hey, Kelly. How are you?
Oh, doing really well.
Awesome. Okay, just wanted to let you know that I've decided to pick you.
Yes! Oh my God! Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. I'm super happy to have you.
Kieran! Are you sure?
Yeah, it's a pleasure.
You made a great choice.
Thank you.
You made a really good choice. Oh my God! Are you being serious?
Yeah, that would be a really bad joke, but yeah. Love to have you. We're really excited.
Oh my God, Kieran! You don't understand. Thank you so much.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
You're totally oh my God, this is one of my biggest dreams. Thank you so much.
It's an absolute pleasure. Thank you for always hanging in there, and thank you for always supporting the videos. That's the big thing for us. We really appreciate it.
Oh yeah, definitely. You and your editor, his name is Mike, right?
Mike the GOAT.
Yeah, you guys, oh my God, you guys are awesome team.
As promised, we have some more No Limit Madness to go over. And in this next hand, early position opens to $10. I'm next to act, and I look down at Big Slick. Ace King off suited. Finally, we look down at a premium and one of my favorite hands in poker. I decide to isolate, or 3-bet I should say, to $50. Baby Yaga out of nowhere. Opponent to my left here, who's definitely made some Lucky Lady vlogs in the past. He is a staple at this casino. He cold calls. Everyone else folds, and with the action back over to me, there's no action back to me. We're going off to a flop. What am I saying? The flop comes out 9-8-3 rainbow. At this point, I check it over to my opponent as it's going to be tough to have a c-bet here. My opponent decides to bet out for $100. Unfortunately, this is a pretty massive bet, but considering this is Baby Yaga, I mean, anything is possible. He could have anywhere from top set to 5 high. So all that being said, I think calling here at least once is okay, or at least exploitatively okay. So I make the call here, and we're going off to a turn card that comes the 5 of diamonds. Well, not great. If his 5 highs exist, they now improve. I decide to check it over to my opponent with the intention on just giving up on this hand, and luckily for us, he lets us realize some equity when he checks it through. And the river card comes with 5 of clubs, and it changes absolutely nothing as it pairs the bottom card. At this point, I check it over to my opponent once again, and Yaga is in between, it seems like, thin value betting or something, or checking back, but eventually he decides to check it back. I announce ace high, and he shows 10-3 of spades. Well, if you ever needed to realize why this was a good game, this is a good one. Cold calling the 3-bet, although he was in position, and He does an incredible job playing against me. A little loose, even coming from me. Either way, lose that pot, unfortunately for us, but I guess our heater is immediately getting fizzled out. Today's episode alone might contain more bomb pots than I've shown in the last frickin' year. Either way, in this next pot, once again, we're playing a bomb pot, and once again, our foe, our adversary, is Baba Yaga. I look down at an ace 9, 6, 7 with the ace 6 of spades. And we're going to have two flops here. The first board comes out 8, 4, 5, and the second board comes out 8, 6, 5. Well, if you're doing the math, we've flopped a straight on one board and have a huge straight draw on the other one. I decided to bet off for the size of the pot for $40. I get no less than 3 callers. We're going 4 ways off to a turn card. On the top board that comes out the 3 of hearts, and on the bottom board that comes out the queen of diamonds. Well, that's not that good. At the end of the day, our hands honestly just got pretty weak. Although we had the nuts on the flop 4 ways, not good. Not good at all. When this flush draw comes in, I'm a little wary, so I decided to check it to my opponent, and Baby Yaga decides to take over the reins of the hand and says, "Screw you, buddy. I'm going to bet 100. Everyone else folds with the action back to me. I do have some outs to the nuts on the other board, and again, I still do have a straight, so I make the call, and the river card comes out a 6 of hearts, improving us to a straight, but also bringing that backdoor flush on the top board. On the bottom board, it comes a 4th diamond, making it slightly less likely for my opponent to have diamonds. Once again, I think that my hand plays best as a check call. Do nothing besides that, it feels like. So I go ahead and check it over to my opponent. And after a little bit of thinking, he decides to think better of it and checks it back. He announces a straight on one of the boards as he shows 4-3, and I show my hand. And my hand is best when I have straights on both boards. He has no diamonds. Luckily for us, we're going to finally take down a really big pot there. A pretty, juicy little pot. 300, 400, 500 bucks. Finally going my way after a tough little middle session there. Looking to pick it up at the tail end of today's session.
Hello.
Hola, ¿cómo está?
Hola, bien, ¿y tú?
Bien, gracias. Oye,
Bueno, ¿me escuchas?
Sí.
Okay.
Te estaba marcando. I was calling you to give you some news that I've decided that you're one of the winners.
I'm in?
Yep, you win. You're one of the winners.
Oh my god, are you fucking kidding me? I'm fucking crying right now. So excited. Oh my god, thank you so much.
Yeah.
I fucking work so hard for stuff like this. I'm so fucking happy. Papi, I'm in. I'm fucking in. Oh my god, bro. I just want to fucking hug you so much.
Oh man, I'm super excited to have you.
Oh my god. Keep shaking, bro.
I'm super excited for you. I'm gonna need your information, like your passport details, so I can fill it all in for the site, and we'll get it all going.
Okay.
Back to the no limit streets when Under the Gun decides to limp. Early position raises to 20. Early position is one of my blood brothers, Mr. Logan. You guys have seen him. He's been a staple in these Sunday games, so if you guys want to steal his money, tell him I sent you and steal his money. On the poker field, of course. I'm on the button and I look down at a Broadway holding here King 10 off. A little loose, but why the hell not? I make the call. The limper calls as well. And the flop comes out Ace Jack 8 with 2 hearts and a spade. Flopping a gutter ball to the nuts. The opponent checks. With the action on me, I think realizing some equity seems like the best option, so I just check it through. Turn card is a 9 of hearts, so now we can start maybe representing a bluff if we need to. The initial raiser throws out a bet for 15, a down bet of sorts. I think I have an easy call here with the backdoor draw as well as a gutter ball, so I make the call, the limper folds. The river card comes out the ace of hearts, and the opponent decides to throw out a blocker bet of $10. In real time, I consider just calling, and then I snap out of it immediately as I realize that I'm not an idiot. There's nothing wrong with just calling sometimes, but the problem with this specific hand is that I have the nut flush. That'd be pretty dumb. I think about it for a little bit and decide to raise to $45. Either way, Logan goes into the tank for some time and audibly says he doesn't know what the heck I have or what I could put me on. Eventually, he decides on a call. Good for us. We show our hand, and it is good. The one thing today's game has been missing is a little more gamble. What makes you want to gamble more than seeing $6 out there in the blind for a good old-fashioned straddle? In this next hand, early position is where I find myself, and I look down at Queen 9 of spades. I race at $20 over the straddle. That's to act calls, and then the button 3-bets to 65. The button is another fan of the vlog, a friend of the vlog, I should say, that goes by the name of Joe, who is an absolute crusher and actually streams on Twitch. So if I can find his Twitch, I'll definitely link that below. But he plays old fighter games, which is super interesting to me. I don't know. I'm a nerd at heart. I play a ton of video games, so I don't know. I think that's pretty cool. Let me know in the comment section down below if any of y'all play any type of video games, computer games, console games. I don't care. I'm actually really interested. Nonetheless, after he 3-bets to 65, it's such a small sizing with the amount of money in here. I think we're definitely priced into call. It's not a great hand, albeit, but considering how small this raise is, it feels okay. So I make the call, and our opponent to the left calls as well. We're going off to a flop that comes Queen 6-4 with 2 hearts and a diamond. I check it over to Baba Yaga, who checks over to the button. Joe decides to go all in, just open rips it for 200. With the action back onto me, I'm kind of put in a tough spot. Although I did call to hit a flop and go with it, our opponent is representing a bunch of strength here. I don't think my opponent can ever have anything outside of like a flush draw here if he is bluffing, so that does mean I have to fade some outs, but after a little bit of coaching myself up, I decide to put the 200 in the middle. Baba Yaga folds next to me on the left, and we're running out 2 boards here. The turn on the top, or the first board, comes out the 10 of clubs, and the river card comes a 7 of spades. We brick out on the hearts, which is outstanding, and the second board, again, 2 great turn and rivers as it comes a 2 of spades and the 3 of spades. We show our hand, and it is in fact good. A massive pot, nearly $600 shipped in my direction. Man, oh man, we definitely needed that one. What's up, huh?
Hey, huh? Sick camera phone. So guys, on today's session, we have Pocket Huron.
I just wanted to formally congratulate you as one of the contestant winners.
What?
Yes, sir.
Woo! Let's go!
Dude, congratulations. Are you excited?
Hell yeah, brother. Appreciate it, man.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And that will about wrap up this year's WSOP giveaways. A massive, massive thank you to all the winners and to everyone that submitted. As I've been preaching for a long time, the courage and the bravery that you have to muster to even put together this video, I can only imagine. I've been on that side of it where I was making my first vlog and it felt really awkward and I was really scared. Just so you all know, I never watched any video with judgment. I always come in with open mind, and I'm just super thankful for everyone that submitted this year. Massive shout out to Kelly, to Cha, and to Dustin. They are going to be the winners for this year. It was really emotional being on the call with all of them, so that was really exciting. All their flights have been booked. There is a very small chance that I decide to add another winner. So if you're saying there's a chance, that means there's a chip and a chair. So thank you guys so much for watching this portion of the video, and if you guys would be so kind to wish some good luck and some run good and some good energy to all the winners. I'm going to keep doing this. Like I said, my goal is to try to do this every year, and I might even do it more than once a year if I find some other really fun events that the WPT or something is hosting that we can go and crash. So I'm going to throw it back to the poker vlog part because I am a poker vlogger and we should probably do some poker vlog stuff. See you there. And to put an absolute cherry, a bow on today's video, we have another bomb pot to go over. Again, I promised you guys we're going to have a lot of bomb pots, but this one is a massive one. Believe it or not, over 1,000 big blinds get in the middle. 1,000 in a 2-3 game. What the are we doing? Jeez Louise. In this next pot, we're going off to 2 flops, 9 ways, $45 in the middle. The first board comes out ace 8-3, and the second board comes out 10-7-4. With the action checked over to the middle position, player decides to pot it for 45. Next to act makes the call, and in the small blind, Mr. Logan, he decides to raise it to 215. With the action onto me here from the early position, I look down at my hand finally, and I have a monster. I look down at a set as it's 8-7-7-5. We flop ourselves quite a bit of backdoor equity. We flop ourselves middle set on one board, and we also flop ourselves middle pair on the other board. Not that that's that relevant, but, you know, hey, we have some extra equity if we need it. And although my hand is not that good and there's quite a bit of action in front of me, I think it'd be slightly too needy to fold at this juncture, so I go ahead and make the call. Next to act, Julian, again another friend of the vlog, he makes the call as well, and then the player to his left decides to call all in for exactly 215. We're going to a turn card with nearly $900 in the middle. The top board comes out the ace of diamonds, and the bottom board comes out the queen of hearts. So now that bottom board is getting even scarier, and the top board is getting even harder to win. All that to be said, the small blind decides to pot it once again for $900. Logan has definitely been around the block, and now the problem becomes this. What board is Logan playing? Is he playing the top board or the bottom board? Because if he's playing the bottom board, I'm drawing stone dead. It's unlikely for him to be going this crazy with pocket fours, although granted, none of us really know what we're doing anyways. So there is honestly a chance that he is, but he could also be doing this with tens and maybe even queens, honestly. All that to be said, I think about it forever, for several minutes, and then decide that my hand is too good to fold. I don't know if it is. I think, honestly, in hindsight, it's probably just a fold. And then the action now goes over to Julian, who goes deep into the tank. He is now thinking over it forever, and Julian is definitely going to be playing a little more cautiously in these pots, as he's definitely been on the short end of a lot of these bomb pots in these weekend games. So he tanks forever and eventually decides to make a tough laydown. Either way, we have a $3,000 pot going all in the middle here. We're going off to two river cards here. As the top board comes out the jack of hearts, on the bottom board comes out the jack of diamonds. Logan had told me he was drawing on one board and had a boat on the top board, so not my favorite, as 8-9 is an obvious hand that now beats me. Luckily for us, Logan shows down ace 8-6-5, so he had a massive wrap on one of the boards and then the nuts on the other board. Luckily for us, our sevens are good enough to hold for half the pot here. The middle position 2 player doesn't show, and he folds his hand, and we take down half of a massive $3,000 pot to get us going in the right direction to end the session off with a solid profit. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed all the hands. Congratulations to all the winners. And let's hop into all of that now.
I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy. Too easy. I can do this with my eyes closed. It's too easy.
So obviously, I say that a lot. It's actually not that obvious, but no longer at the casino. The session is coming to a close. Absolutely fun session. You guys didn't see that many hands. There was kind of just, it was all over the place. It was a session to remember probably, but the session was a ton of fun. It's the first time I've played poker with all of my lads, all of my good friends in a long time. We haven't had the opportunity to do that kind of ever. And considering like kind of where I'm at in poker, it's kind of weird to think about it. But that's going to wrap up today's session. We were into the game for 500 and out for 1,000. In reality, it was a profitable day technically, but I was just shooting everyone at the table $100 and just staking them pretty much on the spot. It was really funny. So if you want an opportunity to staking deal, come on Sunday and play. I don't know. I mean, don't come looking for freebies, but if you have a bad way of things up, you might get staked. Either way, that's gonna do it for today's session. I hope you guys have a happy day. There goes Dustin, the big loser of the day. There goes one of my horses that failed me. Let's rock! Woo! There goes one of my horses that failed me today, but that's gonna do it. I hope you guys have a nice day. Love you guys all. Happy episode, more importantly. Oh yeah, besides running good for the tables, I'll see you guys on the Splash Squads. I'll see you guys, the Lucky Lady, on Sundays at 1 p.m. And DM me about the private game. The private games have been popping off. If you guys want to play in them, I run a 5-5-10 game and a 5-10-20 game. Yeah. DM me on Instagram. All the info's there. See you soon.
Jimmy Neutron, boy, young G's. And I'm a self-made man out of Sweden. And it's still off top, I'm tweaking. But I still gotta fight my demons. I ain't no good, I'm evil. I ain't been clean since Eden. It's a war going on outside, nigga.